What type of advice is this person giving in this time? You know, do they have wise counsel? Is this person someone who's going to tell you, left the boy in Jamaican terms, left him, you know, burn him, find somebody else? I wouldn't take that. You know, what type of advice is this person giving you? Hey darlings, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about friendships, and I'm going to be giving you guys some points to consider in order to choose the right friend. And I must say that I'm by far not an expert in choosing friendships correctly, because I've had some horrible friendships over the years, but who has not experienced a horrible friendship? Like, yeah, but I've grown and I've learned from my experience, which is why I'm so excited to be sharing these points with you guys today. And I only wish that someone had shared these tips with me years ago, instead of just telling me to choose a good friend or a better friend. Like, literally just kind of clearly state out, what does a good friend look like? Then I probably would have made better choices when it came on to choosing a friend. But it is never too late. So today we're going to be discussing these 5 tips which I currently use when choosing a friend, and I think they'll also be beneficial to you guys. So the first thing you want to do is choose based on your values rather than your circumstances. Similar circumstances are where many of us form our friendships, but trust me when I tell you guys, it is not sufficient. So take for example that you're both in the same type of job, or you're both in a situation where you can agree about your spouse, you always maybe sharing in your heartbreaks or something like that. Just your circumstances are just so similar, and that is the only thing that you have holding the friendship together. That is not sufficient. And I think so many of us make this mistake, forming a friendship around our circumstances and expecting it to last, you know, just because we may go to the same school, or we may be living in the same neighborhood, or we enjoy the same sport. It doesn't necessarily mean that we can be friends. So the most important question to ask yourself is, are our values aligning with each other? Healthy or long-lasting friendships are formed through mutual morals and values. So do you both value honesty, integrity? Are you both striving to outdo each other in love? Do you feel the need to deny or hide your beliefs when you're around this person? Let me give you guys a quick story. When I was in high school, all my friends and I were idlers. We were like top-notch idlers. I tell you, we would not do our homework, we would always skip classes, and we bonded over being delinquent. To us back then, it was cool. So idling and wasting time was one thing that we had in common, maybe the top of the list for us. However, I was raised to be responsible, and discipline was taken quite seriously in my household. So the person I was at school was kind of different from the person I was at home. Not even kind of, like fully different from the person I was at home, because that behavior was just not acceptable. And I'm saying this to say that that was one of the things which made me feel guilty for several years, because I knew better. It's one thing if you're doing wrong and you don't even know that you're doing wrong. But when you know better and you still subject yourself to do wrong, that is just horrible. Which is one of the reasons why I can't sit here now knowing what I know and pretend like I don't. You know, that would be a waste of life. So though it took me years and leaving high school to get my act together, by the grace of God I did. And it was then that I realized that my friends and I didn't really have so much in common. So it is really important that your values align. The second thing is to choose based on character instead of personality. This is pretty straightforward, but I'm gonna elaborate a bit because I think this one is so important. Oftentimes we are tempted to form friendships based on the person's personality. We maybe just enjoy their bubbly, extroverted personality, or it could be the opposite. They may be just really calm and introverted, and we're just drawn to that. But what is the character behind this persona that they present to us? Ask yourself, can you truly trust this person? Is this person really a friend, or is this more an acquaintance? Pay attention to the character. It is quite subtle, but it's also hard to fake, because character reflects the condition of the heart, so don't overlook it. There is this saying that character is the person you are when you think no one is looking, but it's also the person you are when you don't get what you want, or when you disagree with someone, you know, because it doesn't matter how perfect your friendship or your relationship is, there's gonna be some point in time where you're not gonna agree with that person. And how does that play out when this person disagrees with you, or you disagree with this person? Do they start throwing the insults at you or slandering your name? What is it like, you know? Also, is this person able to accept your boundaries? A person with good character usually accepts your boundaries. They don't make you feel bad for not wanting to get drunk and wasted at a party, and they understand that no means no. So pay attention to those tiny details that are really good descriptions of a person's true character. Number 3, choose a friend for adversity. That's another thing that we tend to do. We often choose friends for the good times, but it's inevitable that we're going to go through challenges in life. So we need to choose a friend that will be there in our corners when we're going through hardships. The Bible tells us to bear each other's burdens. So for example, you could be married and going through difficulties in your marriage, and you need someone to be praying for you and encouraging you, you know. So what type of advice is this person giving in this time? You know, do they have wise counsel? Is this person someone who's going to tell you, left the boy, in Jamaican terms, left him, you know, bun him, find somebody else? I wouldn't take that. You know, what type of advice is this person giving you? You need to pay attention to that. And a lot of the times, these things come out in times of adversity. So pay attention what is shown in these times. Number 4 is to choose a friend who will give and receive a hard truth over a sweet lie. I'm naturally empathetic, so it's easier for me to appreciate a sweet and gentle reproach. Tone matters, and I always prefer to give and receive corrections in the kindest way possible. However, sometimes the kindest way is not existing. Let's take a fire alarm, for example. There's nothing sweet and gentle about that. But based on the urgency of the situation, it is necessary to get people's attention that there is danger, so they'll move. And sometimes when we're in a certain situation, we're unable to see the danger, or we see but we're in denial. So keep at least one friend in your corner who loves you dearly and means you well, and you can trust that if that person says you're making a mistake, you run. Even if that is done in a loud and firm voice. You know and accept that it's the truth, and you'll take that any day over a friend who sneaks up like a snake and tell you exactly what you want to hear, which leads to your own detriment. And tip number 5, choose a friend that protects. You know, when we think about the friendship between David and Jonathan, Jonathan loved David so much, he protected him from his own father because he knew that David was innocent. So he was willing to stand up for him and to protect him. And the good thing for us, thank God, the majority of us don't have a Saul hunting us down. But even in our everyday lives, you know, it's hard to even find a friend who will stand up for your reputation, who will protect your reputation when you're not there, or even when you're there. Is this person someone who sits back in a room when you're not there and allow people to slander you or gossip about you, and they find no problem with it? They'll even partake, and even if they're not saying anything, they find no problem listening to that information about you, you know. So that is something to consider when choosing a friend if we're looking for a healthy friendship that will last a lifetime. So guys, I could talk about this forever, and this is just such an important topic, you know, because we're an average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So we really need to be more careful when choosing friends. So my challenge to you today is, while you're seeking a friend, are you working on being a friend? Are you a person of strong values? Are you a person that just stands for nothing, so you go along with anything? You know, are you a person of good character? Can you be trusted? Do you protect your friend? Do you do to others as you would have them do to you? I do encourage you to go through areas in your own life and make tiny steps each day to improve your character as a person, and just to make sure that you're not being a hypocrite, dishing to others what you would not like dished to you. And the more we work on ourselves and becoming women of strong values and character, the more likely we are to attract better friendships. So if we know better, we will do better. So this is it for this video. I really hope you guys found this video helpful. As always, if you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Thank you all so much for watching, and I wish you all a beautiful and blessed week.